You think that love will fix you, and you might think that if you find the right woman or the perfect relationship, the ache inside will finally go quiet. And you may even further think that she will be your rescue, your redemption, your cure, if you will. But here's the truth. She actually doesn't have the capacity or the power to heal you. She can only reflect what you might be refusing to see. So maybe I should widen the lens just for a quick second here. You see, when you lean onto her love to fix you, you're not building connection. What you're doing is you're outsourcing your responsibility. You're in essence handing her your pain, and then you're asking her to hold it. But no matter how much she loves you, she can't carry what isn't hers. That's not hers to carry. She can't patch the wounds that she didn't cause. And she can't fill those voids that she did not create. She, in essence, can't be your healer. What she can be is she can be your mirror, if you will. You see, again, let me just reiterate. Those wounds that you're experiencing, she didn't cause. So she's not responsible for them. And those voids in your life, she may not be responsible. So again, in essence, she can't be your healer. She can only be a mirror reflecting back to you what you might be refusing to see. But let's trace this back to the beginning, shall we? Let's trace it back to something that's uncomfortable, but it's necessary to address. See, when you make her responsible for your healing, that's not really an expression of love for her. In essence, you are using her. You might not be doing it intentionally, or your intent may not be malicious, but still you're asking her to carry something that really is yours to hold. You're asking her to validate what you're refusing to affirm in yourself, right? To fix what you're refusing to face yourself. And maybe even to save you from what only you can save yourself from. And over time, this weight can serve to diminish or break that connection, because she can't love the real you if the real you won't show up and face himself in the first place. But let me talk about what happens when you outsource your healing, okay? Because this is an important part here. See, when you outsource healing, love becomes laborious. It becomes challenging. It becomes her fixing you, or her rescuing you, or even further, her managing your brokenness, if you will. And love is not supposed to be a management of that kind of sort. Love is, in essence, supposed to be like freedom, right? Love is supposed to be a partnership, or this mutuality, right? This exchange. And so when you ask her to heal you, you're in essence robbing her of that partnership. You're robbing yourself even of your own agency. And you're turning love into a kind of transaction. And no one really thrives in that kind of a setup. But let me even progress further and step into a harder truth here yet. See, when healing is your job and not hers, then you're responsible for it. No one else is responsible for your healing. That role, that responsibility is yours, because no one else can. No one can feel your pain for you, right? They've got their own pain to sort out. No one can face your past for you. No one can forgive the failures for you. You have to sit with it. You have to name it, right? You have to do this slow and brutal work of becoming whole. And no armor of external love will substitute for the love that you owe yourself. But here's what healing actually requires, I believe. Healing requires courage. And it requires ownership. Healing requires taking responsibility and compassion, not just for others, but also for yourself as well. Healing requires looking in the mirror, not at her, and saying, this is my work. This is my story. This is my healing that I need to pursue for me. Healing requires further feeling what you may have numbed for a very long season in your life, or facing what you've buried deep down. Healing requires forgiving what you've carried for far too long. See, no one else can do that for you. They can walk beside you, yes, and they can encourage you, they can support you, they can walk alongside you, but they can't carry you across the line. You've got to walk across that line. Let me just take a moment here. This is some heavy stuff we're talking about. But let me just reiterate, this is not about shame. Instead, this is more of an invitation. The invitation is to stop waiting for someone else to save you and to start showing up to save yourself. Because when you stop outsourcing healing, you in essence are taking your power back for yourself. You're moving from dependence to agency, from desperation to reclaiming your dignity, from seeking rescue to pursuing your own resiliency. You're moving from dependence, again, to agency, right? And from this sense of desperation to reclaiming your dignity, and in the process you're building your resilience. But let me get practical for just a moment here. Let me ask it this way. How do you know if you're leaning on her to heal you? Or how do you know if you're asking her to carry what is actually yours to carry? I propose, look for these signs here, okay? Look for the following signs. Number one, you're expecting her to fix your mood. So when you're upset, when you're anxious, when you're insecure, if you expect her to calm you instead of learning to self-soothe for yourself, that's a hint. Secondly, when you expect her to prove your worth. Her love is supposed to erase all self-doubt, right? Instead of you doing the internal work of rebuilding your own confidence. So watch for that. Thirdly, when you get angry and you expect her to make the pain disappear. When love feels not enough and you blame her, for example, instead of asking, why is the hole so deep to begin with on the inside? See, consider them like fingerprints of unhealed wounds, okay? Not because you're broken, but more so because you're human, because we're human. This is part of our DNA, our blueprint, if you will. But healing isn't something that you receive. It's something instead that you pursue. Okay? So let me give you some practical shifts. One, own your story. Own your story. So the first step toward healing, like the real deep kind of healing, is own your own story. Don't deny it. Don't outsource it. Don't bury it. Don't edit it to sound better. But own it. Own it in the following ways. Like own the mistakes that you have made. Own the regrets that you experienced, the wounds that you have gone through. Own the places that you still carry shame internally. Because what you're refusing to own, it will end up owning you. And she can't heal what you won't face yourself, okay? There's no one who can take on that task, just you. Let me widen this frame just a little bit here again, okay? So when you imagine like building a house, imagine building a house on this cracked foundation. Now you can paint the walls, yes. You can decorate the rooms, for sure. You can make it look really pretty, but if the foundation of this house built on faulty foundation is broken, everything else will eventually collapse as well. And your heart is the same way. I mean, you can date, right? You can love, you can marry, you can connect, you can pursue meaningful connection, but if the foundation, which is your relationship with yourself, if that is cracked, there's no relationship that can stand or withstand. Because relationships don't heal broken foundations, right? They actually reveal those broken foundations. So let me move on to the second practical shift I propose, and that is practicing radical self-honesty. Practice radical self-honesty. It sounds good, but it's challenging. So, not just about your story, you should be honest about, but also your habits, right? So here's where I'd encourage you to ask yourself, where am I hoping that someone else will do my emotional work for me? Or where am I demanding comfort instead of growth in my life? Or where am I refusing to face what hurts, right? So self-honesty is not comfortable. It is tremendously uncomfortable, but I'll tell you what else it is. It's courageous. It's standing in front of the mirror and refusing to look away. Not to condemn yourself, okay? Not to shame yourself, but in essence to free yourself, okay? This is challenging yet courageous work. But here's the hard part about liberation, okay? Or experiencing it. No one, absolutely no one, can carry you across that healing line. Okay? That's challenging to hear, but it's not bad news. I think it's good news. It's good news because this means that you don't have to wait for someone else to save you. You don't have to beg for someone else to rescue you. And you don't have to keep hoping that love will fill this hole that only you can fill for yourself. See, you have the power. You have always had the power to attend to this work internally. And healing is not about becoming perfect. That's not what I'm saying. But healing is about becoming real. Healing is about becoming authentic and genuine. Healing is about becoming whole and human and present. And you have that power. You have always had that power. So let me just say, because it bears worth repeating, okay? It's not about becoming perfect. This is about you becoming the real version of you. This is about you pursuing the version of you that doesn't have to be filtered, that can be fully present and fully human without any excuse for being so, unapologetically. But let me anchor all this into a final truth, okay? So, she can love you, yes. And yes, she can totally support you. And you can, she can walk alongside you in this journey while you are pursuing healing. But the thing is, she cannot heal you, okay? Because love, the real kind of love, does not try to fix you. The real kind of love actually frees you. It makes space for you to be who you are. It doesn't erase your wounds, but it invites you to heal your wounds, right? And the healing, that is still your work to do. They can walk alongside you and support you, but you got to do the work. No one can face your reflection for you. No one can comfort you in your pain. And no one can actually carry your story for you. That's your work. Healing is, in essence, an inside job, right? But what happens when you take ownership of healing? Well, when you take ownership of your healing, consider the following. You stop demanding that the love be this cure for you, right? And you stop resenting your partner for not fixing you. And you stop seeing connection as rescue, and instead you start seeing it as a partnership. And you become safer. You become softer and stronger. Those two can coexist beside each other. It's not because you're flawless, but because you're experiencing becoming whole. And so you carry your story, and you let her carry her story. You tend to your wounds, and you let her tend to hers. And you meet each other not from desperation, but instead from dignity. And that's where real intimacy lives. So, here's what freedom could look like for you. Freedom could look like this. It could look like standing face to face with someone that you love, not as a broken thing that needs to be fixed, but as a whole human that is open and present, not demanding that they heal you, and not even needing them to save you, not clinging to them to fill all those empty spaces that you feel emotionally on the inside, but instead you're choosing each other. You're choosing freely, you're choosing fully, intentionally, faithfully, because you've done and you keep doing the work that's necessary on the inside. And because you faced what once was terrifying to you, because you've actually embraced the thing that once brought tremendous shame for you. And it's because you've healed, not perfectly, but enough to be able to stand whole and real. Now, let me extend another invitation, if I may. So this final invitation here, consider this for yourself. Stop waiting for love to fix you, and stop asking her to carry your healing. But instead, look in the mirror and face that wound that you've been avoiding. Name the fear that you've been carrying. Sit with the discomfort and the pain and the ache, not to condemn yourself, but to free yourself. See, healing isn't something that she can give to you. Healing is something that you can give to yourself. And the more that you heal, the more that you're going to realize that love was never meant to be the cure. Love was never meant to be the cure. Love was meant instead to be this mirror. And it was meant to be a reflection and not this rescue that you were hoping for. So she can't heal you, no one else can. But what she can do is she can walk alongside you, beside you. She can support you while you are working on healing yourself. And when you do, you'll meet her. Not as a wounded boy who's begging to be saved, but as a whole man who's ready to love and be loved in return. Now, for some of you, as you were listening, I can imagine that this conversation may have stirred some areas that need some attention. Search for this episode. You can't love her while hating yourself. I just posted it some days ago. It's on YouTube. It's a powerful next step on this journey of healing and wholeness. So listen to that episode as a further bolster, if you will, to this message that I've been sharing here. And if you're ready to keep healing or keep becoming or keep building the kind of love that lasts, stick with me because I want to keep diving deeper. And I'd love for you to come along on this journey. Thanks for listening. You have this. You got this.